Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? This is Skull Drawings, and I've had actually a lot of requests to do just regular portrait stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each feature of the face individually, and I'll try to go over the tips on the overall head. But to start this out, we're going to go over the eye, which is the window to the soul. It's very first thing people love to learn when they're drawing the face. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a couple tips, then I'm going to actually kind of talk about this. So before I use the pencil, I'm going to be using this marker to show you what I'm talking about. When you're drawing the eyeball, it's a good idea to actually think of it as a polygon. What people do, let's say this is the nose over here, and this is the eye. What people tend to do is draw this peanut shape, and that doesn't really work too much. Sometimes it does, you know what I mean? The peanut shape looks too weird. When you're looking at the eye, there tends to be a peak on the top lid around this end, and the peak at the bottom on the bottom end. That's if you're talking about this particular eye. It's the opposite on the other eye. So if you have the other eye over here, I'm not even sure if that's on camera. Yeah, it is. You have this peak here, peak here. That's something to kind of remember. It's a good tip. It's something I use a lot. That's something I always think about, and it makes it look like the left or the right eye. Another thing about this, the eyelids. If certain ethnic types tend to maybe slightly have different eye types. It's just a general rule. That's obviously not true because everybody's different. But an Asian type tends to almost have no eyelid at all, while the American has kind of a varied amount of that. An African American type might have like a really large eyelid. Again, these are just like various things we did in caricatures, just to kind of capture a type. But every single person is different, obviously. So just kind of going over some little things. And then if you're going over a pupil, so let's draw the pupil, right? Pupil. Okay, so you have the ball. Let me use this side paper. So you have the ball in the eye socket. You're thinking of the eyelid as almost this kind of like cut open area. Almost cut open area, right? Whatever that is. Think of the eyelid as like almost the skin wrapping around the eye. Obviously the eye is encased in the eye socket. The eyeball is encased in the eye socket, but the distance between here and here, right, the eyeball, would fit roughly 3 irises. Roughly. So if you were to draw the iris in the pupil, it would be roughly like that. And the same thing goes for the pupil inside the iris. You feel about 3 in there. Iris is the colored part, the pupil, and this is the sclera, I believe, the white portion of the eye. Those are some general tips. I'm gonna go over doing an actual eye right now. So let me do that with a pencil. I'm gonna change paper, and let me start it out. So let's kind of get into this. I'm going to be using the side of my pencil, and I'm going to be putting in kind of that peak I was talking about immediately. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to also put in just a vague semblance of the pupil and iris together. I'm going to find the bottom here. It's going to go up. Those peaks are going to be organic when I put them in. Those peaks are going to get, like I said, they're going to be organic when you shape them out. I'm going to draw the eyelid up here as well. And this is very soft, so I can kind of, it's malleable. I can erase stuff if I'd like, you know? And right here I'm going to put a little bit of shadow pattern. I'm going to go over here to the eyelid. And I'm going to make maybe a crease right here. And a not so crazy crease over here. Sometimes you'll find that there's rocks and graphite. I don't know, it has to do with the way they construct the pencil. Within the graphite there'll be like a rock or something like that. It might scratch up your paper. So you have to be careful. So you already have kind of a quick impression of an eye. And it didn't take too long. Once you know the basics, you can draw, you know, just draw them over and over and over again. It'll get easier and easier. So now we're going to go into like some detail. I'm going to go in here now, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. I'm going to start getting more on the tip of my pencil here. And I'm going to be going here to the pupil. Going a little darker here. Making the pupil a little bit darker, bring it up. I'm not pushing down too hard, I'm just going over and over one spot. Trying to pull out a highlight with this kneaded eraser. And making this a little bit darker here, where it's gonna kind of on this side of the eyelid, trying to just separate it. Trying to rub some light kind of half tone over the place. Half tone is kind of that medium like shadow, but it's not really shadow. That's pretty much it in terms of like rendering an eye. You can do some more with the lower lid here. If you want, you can pull out a shape here, kind of showing that there's a lower lid. But that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you watching, guys. If you guys do want more of this kind of stuff, or you can make a request for a kind of tattoo you want me to go over, thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, you can ask, and thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next time.